Good to have you. This is News on the Hour, brought to you from ACNN Television. I am Charles Philip Wakalam. The Bishop of Kwara Diocese Anglican Communion, the Right Reverend Sunday Timothy Adewale, has reiterated God's promises for his children. According to him, those promises are yea and amen, and as such revolves around the life of a Christian who have given his or her life to Christ. He made this known while in an interview with our news correspondent, Nzubechi Frank, at Lokoja in Kogi State.
The promises of God for his children, they are yea and amen. That is, there is nothing that can change them. Part of it is all embracing and all encompassing. He promised protection, he promised provision, he promised longevity of life. And if you look at the Psalm 23, it's a compendium of God's promises. So even though I walk through these valleys of the shadows of death, that is protection. In the presence of my enemy, he set a table, that is provision. Goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, that is good health and longevity. So it is all encompassing. It revolves around all our life as human beings, in as much as we give our life to it.
Meanwhile, the Bishop of Kwara Diocese Anglican Communion, the Right Reverend Stephen Akobe, still in an interview with our news correspondent, Nzubechi Frank, at Lokoja in Kogi State, urged the government at all levels to double their efforts with regards to insecurity in the country, and to also see that more attention is given to infrastructural development and human capital development.
It's terrible. It's a shame. I mean, it's not what we expect. Sometimes we think it's getting better, but again, you hear over the news that something again has happened. Well, as we commend the federal and state government, we also need to ask them to please redouble their efforts. Because most times it is the ordinary people, the ordinary citizens that are exposed to all of these issues of insecurity. Again, it's becoming one too many. The rampant cases of tankers falling over and, ending in explosion, in combustion, in arson, in fire and all of that. And these are ordinary Nigerians who are aching a living, who are affected by all of this mishap. And so we're asking that the federal government, the state government, at all levels, in fact, they should please redouble their efforts so that we can have security in this country. Infrastructure is equally lacking, and we want the federal government, the state government, government at all levels, like I would say, to please see that more attention is paid to infrastructure development and also human capital development.
Moving on to national news, following the suspension of the embargo placed on conversion of local government workers in Ondo State after 5 years, no fewer than 1,597 assistant technicians and technologists have been converted to officers cadre by the Local Government Service Commission. The beneficiaries of the conversion were mainly those who had acquired higher certificates and had successfully passed the 2019 conversion examination. Speaking at the Local Government Service Commission headquarters in Akure, the state capital, the permanent secretary of the commission, Kehinde Ige, commended the disposition of the governor, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu-led administration towards workers' welfare. He disclosed that all the workers who are in the assistant technicians and technologists cadre who had acquired higher certificates would benefit from the conversion after going through oral interview, and however implored all the beneficiary workers to put in their best and improve their productivity with a view to justifying their new status. An immediate past member representing Udenu Ibweze North at the federal constituency, the Honorable Sir Dennis Abo, has condemned the manner at which leaders come into position of power in the country. According to him, the political system of the country only brings out the worst set of people to rule the nation. Honorable Dennis Abu made this assertion during an interview with ACNN News correspondent Wanne Ogechukwu in Abuja, stressing that the political system of the country is so corrupt that it frustrates the innocent ones who luckily found themselves in the position of power.
Our political system in Nigeria brings out the worst, not the best. It's not difficult to see why we are not making progress as a country. Because our elections and political system does not bring out our best to become governors, to become president, to become House of Reps members, senators, and it brings almost the worst. And whenever any good one shows up there, they are trying to take the person out immediately because the person will look like a fish out of water, like somebody who doesn't belong there. Is it the president we have? Is it the best that we can have? The governors that we have, are they the best that we can have? Why? Why does our electoral system not bring out our best? Because those best, a lot of them have expressed interest in government, but they will not be encouraged, they will not be allowed. You know, the system really goes for our worst.
He further stated that the country can be better if leaders can be upright and pursue the interests of the nation, as he also called for the improvement of the educational system.
We need a good education to move forward in Nigeria. We are not getting good education. We need good value system to get along in Nigeria. Corruption must be fought frontally in Nigeria, and corruption has something to do with the value system. If you want to fight corruption and you fight it systemically, you will get very, very far with it. But not when you pick isolated cases and then, you know, people begin to say it is all political. It's like corruption fight in Nigeria is like political witch hunting. You use it as a tool to blackmail people, to bend their arms, to twist them, to bring them to agree with you in your, you know, holding the power of coercion. You use it to manipulate your corruption fight. It will not give you the right result. If something is wrong, let it be wrong for A and B. So we know how other people have gotten developed. We should follow the same pattern and develop our own environment. To develop Nigeria is possible. Nigeria is well endowed, but we have failed in leadership. Leadership of Nigeria has failed. We have not been good examples at all.
The Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, ICPC, and other related offenses commission has declared the former chairman of the Special Presidential Investigation Panel on the Recovery of Public Property, Obonobla, wanted. The anti-graft agency made this announcement in a statement signed by its spokesman, Rashidat Okodua. Obonobla is wanted by the ICPC due to his repeated failure to appear before it to answer questions bordering on the allegations of fraud and corruption. The former presidential aide, according to ICPC, is facing a series of allegations leveled against him by members of the public and his role as head of the government panel on asset recovery. ICPC said they have conducted a series of investigations on the allegations with preliminary findings showing that some provisions of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000 and the extant laws of Nigeria had been allegedly violated by Mr. Obonobla. After the break, we'll bring you a story on the big issue, which is the border closure, where customs say it has arrested suspects for rebagging foreign rice. Please stay tuned.
Ajayi Crowther University admission has commenced. Programs on offer include undergraduate, postgraduate, part-time, HND conversion, foundation and pre-degree in faculties of law, humanities, education, natural sciences, social sciences and management sciences. Our tuition is affordable and payable in 3 installments. Visit the university website at www.acu.edu.ng for online application, screening and admission letter. Given our state-of-the-art facilities, well-equipped library, decent learning environment and distinguished lecturers, apply now by logging on to www.acu.edu.ng. For details, call 0814-592-0637. Ajayi Crowther University, raising godly intellectuals.
Thanks for staying tuned. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and other programs, download the ACNN app for Android from Google Play Store. The National Assembly Joint Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions have asked anti-graft agencies to probe a contractor who abandoned a project since 2015 after collecting 1.5 billion naira mobilization fee. The contractor was said to have abandoned the construction of the headquarters of the Code of Conduct Bureau in Abuja, which is still at foundation level after 4 years. The chairman, Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions, Senator Ayo Akinye, who presided over the joint session, stated this when the CCB Code of Conduct Tribunal and the Public Complaints Commission appeared at the Federal Parliament to defend their 2020 budgets. He wondered why neither the management of the CCB nor any other agency of the government had raised the alarm on the abandoned project. The lawmakers described as alarming the revelation by the CCB chairman, Mohammed Issa, and the chairman of the CCT, Danladi Umar, that they had not received any capital vote since 2018. The Nigerian Customs Service says it has arrested a syndicate of 15 people who allegedly rebagged foreign rice as local rice for sale to unsuspecting customers. The controller of customs in Adamawa and Taraba States Command, Kamaradin Olumo, disclosed this when he led journalists to the scene of the crime at a warehouse in Yola, the Adamawa state capital, where he said the suspects were found with 900 bags of rice with duty-paid value of 14.5 million naira. He also explained that operatives of the command busted the warehouse in conjunction with others from the federal operation units and strike force, as part of efforts towards sustaining the fight against smuggling into the country. He revealed that 15 people, including the manager and laborers at the warehouse, were rounded up by the security operatives while carrying out their nefarious acts. Now to the international scene. The British Prime Minister will push for a general election if the EU proposes to delay Brexit until January, as 10 indicated interest, saying Boris Johnson paused his Brexit bill attempts after MPs rejected his plan to get it signed off in 3 days. Now, EU leaders will also consider whether to grant a delay to the 31st October Brexit deadline and what length it should be. Meanwhile, report says in a letter sent that Mr. Johnson was forced by law to send to the bloc after failing to secure backing for his deal to call for a 3-month extension. Although Downing Street has suggested its plan is to push for an election, as the Prime Minister cannot force one unilaterally. The move would need the backing of Parliament and opposition MPs who have previously ruled out holding one until the prospect of no deal in 31st October was ruled out. Now to sports story. The Spanish Football Federation has confirmed that the rearranged Clásico between Barcelona and Real Madrid will be played on December 18th, despite opposition from La Liga. Spanish most prestigious fixture, which was due to take place at the Camp Nou on Saturday, was postponed last week because of violent pro-independence protests in Catalonia. La Liga had earlier proposed a new date of December 4th, but now, after days of talks, the Spanish Football Federation have revealed that the game will take place on Wednesday, December 18th. Though La Liga have appealed for the match to be played on December 7th in order to reach a larger TV audience, and are concerned that the December 18th date will overshadow the evening's Copa del Rey fixtures. There is no confirmation yet as to when La Liga's appeal will be heard. And with our sports story, we'll wrap up the news on the hour. Thank you for watching. I am Charles Philip Wakola.